Here with Jason Goodman, the CEO of Atlas Comics. Jason, how long have you been the CEO of Atlas?
Well, I've been the CEO since we relaunched last year at New York Comic Con, but you know it's been in my blood forever. My grandfather Martin founded Marvel Comics, and my grandfather and my father Chip founded Atlas Comics in 1975. So it's been in my blood for a long time.
What was it that made you take these characters from the 70s who were, you know, I had no idea who they were until I first saw you guys coming out with them, and then I heard that, oh, these guys have been out for a while, and I went back and researched, you know, who they were. I actually picked up the first issue of the Grim Ghost on eBay. What made you take these characters and start them over?
I gotta say, in some respects, market demand. I mean, I had kept the titles and lovingly maintained the intellectual property for years, but eventually the fan mail started bursting through, and everybody's like, "Dude, relaunch! Come on! We want comics, we want video games, we want movies. Just do it already!" So I just did it already.
Do you have a favorite that you've started so far?
Well, you know, you never really have a favorite child, or at least you never admit to it. But, you know, really, I want them each to be special in its own way. So we've launched in different genres. So I've got Wolf with sword and sorcery. I've got Grim Ghost, sort of supernatural horror. I've got Phoenix, who's my kind of superhero, but definitely sci-fi. And now I've got Atlas Unified that we're launching at Comic-Con this year, which is our first crossover event, and bringing in many other characters from the original 1970s Atlas. So
I actually saw that at the end of the last Wolf issue when they brought in Iron Jaw, and I was like, who? I had to look that one up again.
Well, we do a lot of characters, and you know, some of them will be independent launches, some of them will launch from within or just spin out of. So, you know, we were inspired by Nat Jones' artwork in Wolf. He was so good originally with Sanjin, the main bad guy's Iron Mask, and so all of a sudden we just started talking Iron Jaw, and Steve Niles spun his magic, and before you know it, Iron Jaw's on the cover.
So now, let's take it from, you know, somebody else who may not know all of Atlas's characters and everybody that the 70s company had to offer. How many more characters are there really out there for you guys to just draw around and bring into the modern world?
Well, there's about 27 different titles, and of course within those titles there are plenty of characters, heroes, villains, you know, important people, tertiary characters, all of the above. But there are about 27 titles that we could relaunch from the 70s, and probably not all of them are destined for their own book. But, you know, certainly Destructor is a major superhero character that Atlas originally did. We've got The Brute, Planet of Vampires, Demon Hunter.
So for people who are familiar with, you know, the characters and who you're portraying here, you've got a lot more WTF moments lined up like you did with the end of Wolf last issue.
Many more, and you know, we're really thankful. I get emails from France. When are you coming out with Tiger Man? Le Tigre. You know, it happens all the time. So we're thankful that there are fans out there who remember even our most obscure characters, and we promise that they'll continue to make appearances.
I'm not going to beg you or anything for storylines, plot, where's this guy going or what. I'm just going to say this for the record now since we're on film. The Grim Ghost was obviously the first one that I tuned into. I wound up liking Phoenix even more so. I've never experienced Phoenix before. I really do like the series.
Sure.
But Grim Ghost, it looks like, I like the fact that he was like, you know, kind of a bastard, kind of an anti-hero in that regard.
Exactly.
And it looks like you're really kind of grooming Michael to be the new Grim Ghost, as opposed. And I don't know if you're going to turn this guy into a bad guy or what's going on. Can you give us any insight at all, or do you want to just like tell me like shush?
Well, I feel comfortable saying that you're somewhat on the right track, but I feel one of the things that makes the Grim Ghost so interesting is that there is this flexibility and fungibility between the characters. Who's really good, who's not, who, you know, everybody's a little bit dirty, for lack of a better word, but also everybody has a lot of decency to them, and what shines through at particular moments is hopefully something that Tony Isabella will surprise me with, I'll surprise you with, and you know, it'll continue to roll out that way. Speaking of, like, you know, the undead characters and these kind of supernatural powers, I have to ask you at least one nerd question that has actually been posed to me recently by a couple of our fans. Really? I hope I'm a good enough nerd to answer. And, you know, a biased answer is perfectly acceptable. Who do you think would win in a fight, Grim Ghost or Spawn? Oh, you know it's Grim Ghost. Totally biased. I'm not even going to think about it.